Hello everyone, Beat It from the bedroom here, your aggravated guitar junkie. Yeah. What's new? Any difference? Let's make some noise first. Let's see what's up. Yeah, what was I doing at the end of that? I have no idea. I wanted to do the kind of thing. But my fingers just wasn't working. So, turn off the buzzing. Put the pick away. I'm going to try this. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Put the mic on. Wonder if it's got enough juice. Maybe not. All right, so we're gonna skip that. Charge it up and try it again later. Notice how I left the T in there, not later. Later. Yeah, I'm pretty foul today. So I had to do some research on said guitar. By the way, this is the Joe Satriani Ibanez 1200 series. It's got the Prestige neck on here. It's the J Team Craft. Case is over there. And I had to do some work to it. Yeah, so I finally cleaned it front and back with Lemon Pledge. My one time. I'm going to do that one time, and then that's it. The thing with the Lemon Pledge is that if you put fingerprints on it, you could just wipe it dry with a rag and not worry about it. I do the chrome, I do everything. So yes, I had bought a brand new Ibanez trim. So it's already got the washes on it. Just to get 2 washes, they want 23 bucks. The trim was like 11 bucks, right? So get a trim. Now they have another trim that is 19 bucks, but it's gold, and it comes with 2 extra bushings. You know, the rings that go on that white part right there. But I was like, I don't want gold, I want chrome to match, you know. The black one is over there, along with the knobs. See, I changed the knobs. I think these knobs look so much better because, you know, they got a texture to it, just like the other ones, but they have indicators, so I could know, you know, if they're maxed out. Anything that's facing that way is 100%. And you've got your splitter for the pickups, which is stupid, sounds like crap. I don't know why they just don't put a phase. Then you've got a mid-tone boost. So supposedly when you're rolling back on it, you don't lose any of the highs. I can't tell the difference. But then again, I don't have perfect pitch either. So I know when the guitar's in and out of tune, but I don't know that. I don't have the ear for that. And I cleaned the fingerboard. Now I didn't oil it at all. It's an open pore rosewood fingerboard. And I found with this type of fingerboard, because I believe this is like, again, I don't know what the year is, 018235. This is the 3rd video, I believe, on this guitar. And I think I mentioned that in the first video, and hopefully I didn't post them yet, so I don't have answers as to what year this is. But I think it started in 2006 or 2008, and then in 2012 he changed, 2010, sorry, he changed the bridge. So because this has the Pro Edge, I believe this is 2010 or up. And the older fingerboards that you could see the open pores on, when you oil them, they take a long time to dry. And I don't have patience. I want to polish it, you know, and restring it and play it right away. So that's what I did. The neck is still, I was thinking, I don't know, because I kind of like the little bit of a dull gloss, and it's not really that chalky, but it does, I could feel it. It does create some drag going up and down the neck. But most of the time, really, like anyone else, the only thing that's touching that is either the inner palm ridge of between my pointer and my thumb when I'm playing chords, or just my thumb when I'm coming down. So only my thumb is really getting some little drag on there, and I really don't notice it as much. But granted, it doesn't feel like my other shredding machines. So, and it is probably one of the widest necks I have. It's more of an equivalent to my, I would say, my 66 Strat that I had. It's got a little bit more meat to it, but it's still not chunky. And the bridge, I did my research on the bridge. I asked questions again on the first 2 videos, and again, because I haven't posted them yet, because I'm too far behind. I looked it up and I found out that this is the Pro Edge, and the little red bits in the back there that you could see. And yes, I did take the green springs out and I put the red springs in. The green springs were super hard to stretch. So you really had to put a lot of muscle on the tremolo arm. And with my, I like it firm, but I don't like it super hard with my shoulder. That's why I after my last surgery, I put off playing anything with a tremolo, and I was going hard time into the Les Pauls and the Tellys because I couldn't use it. Now that I'm getting back to using it again, you know, it was really those green springs. I think the color goes for tension. Was super firm. So I put 2 of my red ones in here that I have in my Washburn N24F, and that feels really sweet. What else? The other thing is that because I had to go from 11 gauge to 9 gauge, 9 to 46 pure nickel wound, once I had it restrung and you know, had it tuned up, I noticed that the bridge was like really deep into the cavity because, you know, the guy before me put 10s on here, 11s on here, and, you know, the tension is a lot different once you change it. So I had to reset the bridge yet again. What's nice about the Ibanez is that unlike the Floyd Rose where you see it's level with the body, it's nice when it's routed because you could measure it with the inside, the routing of the body. On my Eddie Van Halen's, where it's flat on top, you could just see it's a little bit more of, you know, of a tilt. These actually have little lines in the side here where it shows you to line it up with the body, which has been with Ibanez for the longest time that I could remember. So it was just dealing with that. Now, the worst part is that when I put it down into the body to lower the action, because this guy really had the action up high, and I think I mentioned that, higher than what I like. Once I did that, I couldn't see the level line in there. It's really hard to see. So, but I got it right. The other thing is that this, I don't know what it was, but when I was checking, you know, the tuning and the intonation, I went to use the set screw for the A string, and because of the 11s that were on here, the intonation was slightly different. So this saddle was moved so far forward that the part of the metal that the screw, sorry about that, that the screw pushes up and down on to, you know, give you the tuning, it was so far forward that it popped forward. When I went to screw it down, it went like that. And I was like, oh man, I thought, and I'm looking with a flashlight, a stronger pair of reading glasses, and I'm like, did it break off? I don't see the piece. Then I look in and I realize, oh, it just went past it. So I had to detune this string. I had to push it in from here with a screwdriver to bring it back. Then I had to set the intonation on it. Now the intonation is fine along with the tuning. So that was another thing, and I was like, what else could go wrong with this guitar? So many problems I've had, so many things I had to take care of. Now it's 100%, you know, in pure working order and sounds great. Again, I had to adjust the pickups. I had to, again, my knob was turned up on for my dog walking over it to hide whenever it rains here. I get the sound that I want. I still think that the JC100 series that I had better sounding pickups, and that's only what my ear is telling me. So these are okay. This is the Fred and the PAF, Joe PAF. They're all right, but you know, I'm not going to change them because I don't want to alter the guitar. The only thing I did, like I said, was the arm and the knobs, and I got them over there in the case. So, you know, I could always just 2 seconds and bring that back, kind of thing. So yeah, and the red bits that are in there, this is set for you not to have to cut the ball end off of the string. So you could just pop the ball end in there, feed it in all the way, and then tighten it up, and then string it. So what had happened is these two strings didn't, the first and the second, the E and B, didn't have ball ends on them. So of course I cut them. And then when I saw the other ones did, I put them, the new strings, back with the ball end in there. Because I wasn't really 100% sure, even though I saw a video on it. I wasn't really, I've never seen that before, and I wasn't 100. So I figured, worst case scenario, I've got enough here that if something happens, if I don't like it, I could always take it out, cut the ball end, and stick it back in, and still have enough, string to do it. But haven't had an issue with it. And, it's this is the first time really playing it with a song with 9 gauge on here, and with my pedal sounding right and my pickups adjusted. And these are new strings, so I don't expect it to be perfect, but yeah, it's very close, because I tried stretching the strings out as much as I can prior to, and that's a whole job in itself, because you got to start in the middle, you got to pull it up, and you got to stretch, go from one end, stretch it all the way to the other. And it's a bit of a task, but it's worth it in the long run, because you don't have to play it for a little bit. I normally just have a whammy bar hernia, up and down, to really stretch the strings out, and expect to have to retune it, in about an hour or so. So yeah, that is it with this here guitar. And, I finally got it where it's perfect for me. And I think these knobs look super cool. I think it gives it a little bit more character on the guitar. And, having an arm that's not just, swinging down. I could replace the piece in here and put one of my Floyd pushing arms, but I'd have to remove the whole Floyd rose. And I can't get to it. Some guitars you can get to it with a 10mm deep socket. This one you can't, because the wood is in the way, and the block and all. So I would have to remove the entire thing. And I've had enough time with taking that block off with the 2 screws just to change the two springs, which also changes, the tension on the Floyd Rose. So with all that in mind, that's where I'm at, and that's about it. So yeah, I was watching some videos of, I'm trying to find videos of Satriani playing the 1200 series, and unless I've got some old DVDs of him playing it, I couldn't really see much. But he's and I think he's got a unique tone, a unique sound. He's got like a funk rock groove going on whenever he plays. It's just watching, and it's just me watching him with his big furry arms, nothing up on top, and it's like, with the feedback just going, and as much as I'm a huge Gary Moore fan, it's like, end it already. Just, okay, enough. The only time he does that, Gary Moore, is at Prisium Walkways, and that's what he's known for. But he'll go on, and him and Rory Gallagher, they would not end the song. They just keep on going on and on and on. And yeah, as much as I adore them, that really does, like, I'm like, okay, next one kind of thing. And that's just me. So yeah, that is it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and a better tomorrow. And I appreciate all the likes and comments that I get. I think it's cool. Gives me something to do. Keeps me busy throughout the day. All right. Adios.